This video is going to answer the question of what the world will look like before the 10 and the Antichrist. It will have a little bit of a review back to the first video in the entire series, just to bring us back around and not forget that this is what we're trying to see in Daniel chapter 7 and 8. And we are also going to cover one quick verse in Daniel chapter 2 for continuity to show that it keeps on saying the same thing in the book and throughout the book of Daniel. So stay tuned, and the next video will be right back into Daniel chapter 7. In this lesson, we're going to be covering what the world looks like when the 10 and the Antichrist show up. So what happens just before that? And if you look at the screen, you have an arrow pointing towards Babylon. And the reason why I'm calling it that is because of the verses we've already looked at in Revelation 17. And in Revelation 17, we've already seen there's a very clear order of Babylon, 10, Antichrist, Jesus. And so I'm going to use that as a kind of a timeline and a reference. Then we're going to take and we're going to compare Revelation 17 to other chapters in Daniel and Revelation and see if we can keep adding more information to the 10, the Antichrist. Those are very clear. And then also what happens just before it starts talking about the 10 in each of the texts. And that's why I'm going to call it the Babylon, or really, to be more precise, it's the Babylon time period per se. But I really want to make it clear I'm not completely dogmatic. I'm not going to say that every single thing going on during that time period is Babylon, but the language just is almost exact or very similar and never contradictory. So I think you can be pretty sure without being completely dogmatic. So this is also a very good lesson to get a pencil and paper, and let's start taking notes and adding for each text more information about the Babylon time period, the 10, and then the Antichrist, so that when we see these things happening, we will recognize them and be able to appropriately watch for these signs. Daniel chapter 2 only has a little bit to say about what happens right before the 10, but let's go ahead and look at it. It's in verse 40. So Daniel chapter 2, verse 40. The fourth kingdom will be as strong as iron. For iron crushes and smashes everything, and like iron that smashes, it will crush and smash all the others. Okay, so then verse 41 goes on to talk about the 10. So we know that right before the 10, the atmosphere of the world is going to be this overwhelming kingdom that is going to smash and crush the earth.